as I mentioned, we're moving on to the teens of the 2025 season. Cannot believe it. It's a rare week where 3 of the 4 teams in the division are playing in the 1 p.m. Eastern window. And we start with the team that is currently atop of the NFC West, the Los Angeles Rams, on the road to take on the Carolina Panthers, who just lost to Jesse's 49ers on Monday Night Football. And if that version of the Panthers offense shows up in this game, it's going to be a long afternoon for Bryce Young and company. Jesse, I'll start with you. You just recently saw these Panthers. What do you make of their matchup against the Rams this upcoming weekend?
They don't have a snowball chance in hell of winning this game. Absolutely not. The Rams are going to do whatever they want, however they want. They're putting up 30. The Panthers will be lucky to score 17. So I'll go 30 to, 15 or something.
Jesse's penciling in an easy dub here, Brandon, for the Rams. Are you on the same path as Jesse?
Yeah, I am. You saw the cornerback room getting even a little bit more work down in this past game, and they were already kind of light and thin coming into it. I just think that Bryce Young is still looking like a struggle when it comes to the quarterback position, and I don't think they run the ball enough consistently. That's their only hope here against this Rams team. All that being said, I think the defense just gets after Young, and he ends up getting a little bit overwhelmed as this game works along. 27-10 Rams. I think they really just take it strong.
Mike, Cardinals, Rams, who takes it on Sunday?
Honestly, though, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just going to agree with everybody. Honestly, at this point, I was going to try to BS and say the Panthers going to win. It's just there's no snowball chance. Just like Jesse said, the Rams are going to take care of business. They are a well-oiled machine right now. They're going to continue to do what they're doing. I'm going to say 33-13. I say Rams win this game.
Man, Jake, everyone's bought in on the Rams, not only to win, but to win soundly. And I got to imagine you agree with the panel.
Yeah, we've already, We've already broken that whole thing with, I'm not going to pick a blowout. Well, the Rams have done that consistently. Guys, they haven't trailed since the second quarter of the Ravens game in week 6. Damn. And I don't expect they're going to trail at any point in this game. Give me the Rams 34-16. I think they're just so much better. And with Trayvon Merrick suspended for this game, and J.C. Horn in concussion protocol on a short week, I don't know if he's going to play. I think that this is the opposite of nightmare fuel for a Rams fan, and this is literally the definition of nightmare fuel for anyone that appreciates Bryce Young.
Well, fellas, we were told it was only a matter of time, right? Shedeur Sanders gets his first NFL start against the Las Vegas Raiders, and they got a W. They certainly went out there and did more than I think we saw from them really throughout the entire year, but it was against the Las Vegas Raiders. It will be a more difficult challenge at home this upcoming week against the San Francisco 49ers, where Shedeur Sanders looks to win back-to-back starts in his NFL debut here. Jesse mentioned it earlier, could be some inclement weather in this one. And then, of course, we know what this defense in Cleveland poses. Myles Garrett quietly might break the sack record this year. And this could be a game, no matter really who they're playing, where they could find a way to win simply because of what that defense is capable of. Mike, I'll start with you. You look at the Browns on the schedule, and I think everybody pencils in a W. But like I just mentioned, this defense is scary. Any chance Cleveland finds a way to win this one at home against San Francisco on Sunday?
I mean, yeah, there's a chance if Brock Purdy plays for sure. There's a chance. I mean, this defense is very good, and I'm talking about the defense for the Browns. Like, this can be one of those things where it might be a close game, and enough for maybe the defense can maybe force over a multiple turnovers, or a forced fumble and then recover to a touchdown. Right? I could definitely very well see that, especially if inclement weather is kind of being a factor into the situation. I see this as a low scoring game, not so much a tribute to the Browns, and it's just the defense. I think the defense is really going to hold them to what it is. And although to Shedeur Sanders' point, good for him for getting his first W, but it was the Raiders. At the end of the day, the Raiders aren't a good team. They are terrible. So I'm going to say this is going to be a win. I'm still going to lean on over to the 49ers side. I'm going to say 17-13 49ers win.
Low scoring dub from Mike. Jake, what do you make of this one? Niners, Browns in Cleveland.
Give me Shedeur Sanders. I'm taking the Browns. Look, I went back and forth on this. This defense is no different than what I was saying about the Texans, and the Texans were able to win against the 49ers. The Browns are going to absolutely just stifle you, and then this is going to be a close game. And I have Shedeur Sanders in his first game. He's the only one in NFL history in his first game to have 2 50-plus yard passes completed. he has the balls to throw it deep down the field. And the 49ers are the worst pass defense the last 3 weeks. They're averaging almost 300 yards given up through the air. And then I have Quinshawn Judkins, and like you mentioned, Myles Garrett. Yeah, give me the Browns here, 20-17. I'm going to say Shedeur Sanders goes 2-0. And by the way, Shedeur Sanders last week, it was the second most points scored all year for the Browns at 24. I know it was against a bad Raiders team, but you know, the worst possible thing the 49ers can do is have a quarterback that's going to turn the ball over. Brock Purdy will turn the ball over. And I honestly, if they start Mac Jones, I would change my pick. I said it. I understand they went out against the Cardinals and they did really well. Well, Mike will tell you that's not as impressive of a win as it felt at the time. So we saw the truth is Brock Purdy is not that good. And as you alluded to, Z-Bot, this Browns defense is legit. And they're going to give him fits. And I think it's just going to be just enough to win. And also, by the way, Cleveland is a much better defense when they're playing at home, which they're doing. Browns 20, 49ers 17.
Well, if the win over the lowly Raiders was any indication, Cleveland sports talk radio, should they win this game, I mean, it's going to be must listen. They're going to be thinking Shedeur Sanders is, of course, the next Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and everything in between. Brandon, is there a chance Cleveland has their sports talk radio going nuts Monday morning next week?
Prime time. Prime time. Yes, we are going to get an upset. I'm going to share Jake's outlook on this. Not out of hate for the Niners. Don't get at me, Niner fans, okay? I do think, as he broke down pretty well, that this is a lot of what you see at play here. Jesse was actually kind of kind to Brock, and I think we got to give Jesse a little bit of applause for being one of those guys standing into the storm on that take with Brock these last year and a half and looking a lot more on the right side of it in recent weeks as much as ever. And I think what you saw in that game, and the part he did leave out, is that there was 2 other picks that was kind of left off the board that was in Panther hands that they could have taken away in that last game. He is getting way too loose and free with this football, and this is a Browns defense that can make you pay. As Jake said, at home, they're at a kind of another level there, and they put the clamps on a Packers offense. What are they going to do to this offense? And I still look at that Niner defense. It looks like just a still kind of skeleton-ish crew and how they're formed and put together. And I just go, I think that this is one of those games where you just end up feeling those injuries mounting up, and it's enough. 21-17 Cleveland on the back of the Sanders magic.
Jesse, I got to find a way to put a positive spin on my Bills. The last time we saw these Niners in inclement weather, it was last year in Orchard Park, and it was not good for San Francisco. I doubt it's going to be a snow globe like it was then, but the weather certainly could be a factor. This defense for Cleveland will be a factor. We already have 2 upsets being picked by Brandon and Jake. Do you think your Niners are on the wrong end of that upset on Sunday?
I don't think that it's an upset other than a betting upset, right? The way that I look at this is I actually picked before the season started. We all do this as content creators. We go through the schedule, we go over our record predictions. I had the 49ers losing to the Browns. I never thought the Browns would be a good team, but there's so many factors that go into this game before you even look at the way that Brock Purdy's playing football. You look at the Cleveland Browns. This is 13 weeks in a row the 49ers have played football. They are yet to have a bye week. This is a 1 p.m. time slot. This is a Jim Schwartz coached defense. Jim Schwartz is 9-1 against Kyle Shanahan in his career. Then you add in the fact that inclement weather, it does look like it's supposed to rain a little bit. Brock Purdy's been awful in any sort of moisture. And then Brock Purdy coming off of an awful game. And, oh, by the way, the 49ers have to travel on a short week. There are a lot of reasons to pick the Cleveland Browns. If I picked them before the season started and thought it was a scheduled loss, I'm certainly going to pick them now. I do think the Browns win this game 17-14. And I will say this, if Brock Purdy comes out of this game clean and actually is a big reason why they win this game and can make some throws, doesn't just come out and throw within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage all game long, then I will give him a lot of credit because he will certainly deserve it, especially the way that people piled on after this week's games. I just don't think he's going to come out of this one clean. I do think he's going to turn the ball over, and I think that the Browns win. And I will also throw in one more caveat. A lot of 49er fans talked a lot of trash about Shedeur Sanders and how he doesn't belong in this league. If he outplays Brock Purdy, You'll never hear the end of it. I'm just letting you know that right now.
Hey,
I was
Jesse, do
thinking
you
the
have
same thing.
Jesse, do you have this game as a win if Mac Jones starts like Jake did?
I actually do. I would pick the 49ers because here's the thing. Mac Jones is not a special player. I would never advocate for signing Mac Jones long term. I would never advocate to pay him big time money. But Mac Jones, what he does well is he knows exactly who he is as a player. He plays within what he is. He's comfortable within that. Brock Purdy is the opposite. Brock Purdy has a little bit of Jimmy Garoppolo to him where he's got a gunslinger mindset, but a game manager skill set. And I believe those two things together are not a positive.
I thought maybe we'd hear one upset. I got to be honest, I'm stunned that 3/4 of the panel are picking Cleveland to win this game. We'll see what goes down on Sunday. All right, let's move to Arizona taking on Tampa Bay. We mentioned it earlier in that shellacking that the Bucs took against the LA Rams. We saw Baker Mayfield kind of throw his arm out on that Hail Mary before half. So he's questionable for this game. And they're missing guys left and right. We did see Chris Godwin come back last week, but he was kind of on a pitch count, didn't have much of an impact. Bucky Irving still remains out. So, Mike, you're going into this game, and there's certainly a chance for Arizona to win here. And then with Carolina in the thick of things, this division race right now between those two is awfully interesting, despite that division not being very good. So, Brandon, I'll start with you here. Cardinals, Bucs. Do we think the Bucs can find a way to get back on track? They've had a rough last month, or does Arizona go in and beat Tampa Bay on Sunday?
I do think Tampa Bay ends up getting this game, but of course, Baker Mayfield's presence and whether or not that's for sure in and whether or not he can be something close to normal Baker Mayfield will be a big driving force on this because he's been the guy that's had to carry a lot of that load offensively this year with all of the injuries that they've had to sustain to that offense and with sometimes the unevenness of what you see from that defense on the other side. One thing's for sure, Jacoby Brissett's going to throw for probably all the yards in this game and probably about 70 attempts. But I do think at the end of the day, Tampa Bay's got just a little bit more talent than where Arizona is right now. They're going to want this a little bit more from where I am estimating, Arizona's at kind of from mentally standpoint. So I still give them a pretty comfortable win this. I'll go 28-19 Tampa Bay.
28-19 says Brandon. Jake, what do you say? Arizona, Tampa Bay on Sunday.
Well, I'm going to go the old caveat route. If Teddy Bridgewater suits up, the Cardinals win this game. And if Baker Mayfield suits up, then the Bucs win this game. Because Teddy Bridgewater, I'm pretty sure, is only playing and he came out of retirement because he got suspended from coaching. I don't know how much he really wants to be out there.
Because he bought the kids some Uber Eats.
It's the most ridiculous thing ever, and I was on Teddy's side on that. He seems like a nice dude, so it's so ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to take just the prediction here. I'm going to say Baker does play, and the Bucs win 24-14.
I'd have to agree with you. Baker's one tough SOB. It's pretty bad if he's not out there on Sunday. Jesse, what do you make of this one? Cardinals and Bucs, 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. I really do. The Bucs defense is certainly struggling. I will say, regardless of records and all of that, I do think that the Bucs are the one team that do pose a threat to the Rams. And the reason I say that is because I imagine that Mike Evans will be back. Bucky Irving actually should be back this week. That's two big gets on offense. We still have yet to see McMillan play. If he plays this year, that's another added weapon. And then it sounds like they're actually going to get Kalijah Kancey back, which would be massive for this defense. So I think the Bucs have a chance here to make a deep run. And I do think they win this game because I do think that Baker plays, and I do think that Bucky Irving returns, and he's a whole different ball game of a player. I mean, he's very much Jahmyr Gibbs to this offense, and that's a big difference for them. So I'm going to go 27-23 Bucs.
My God, how about Jahmyr Gibbs, by the way? He's covering up a lot of Jared Goff's flaws the last couple of weeks. That dude's looked unbelievable. He had over 215 yards on 15 carries on Sunday of last week. Now, Mike, thankfully you don't have to go up against a Jahmyr Gibbs in this type of game, or perhaps maybe you do if Bucky Irving's back. We'll see. But Cardinals, Bucs, we'll see who ends up playing at the quarterback position. If it is Bridgewater, I'd be stunned if the Cardinals lose based on how he looked the other night when he came in. But what do you make of this one either way for your Cardinals?
I think Baker's going to play, even if it's not like you're going to throw the ball 35, 37. If Bucky Irving's coming back, that seems like a good enough game plan where if you want to say you want to throw the ball 17, 20 times, I think that's enough to unfortunately beat the Arizona Cardinals right now. I just think that they're down so bad right now, like morally. And I know everybody's saying like the right things, like, Buda Baker, all these leaders are saying all the right things, follow the process. But at some point, the process just kind of gets derailed and you're just kind of, it's lip service at this point. So I do think the Baker Mayfield is going to be playing. If there's any chance that Teddy Bridgewater comes back, I'm not even going to come out here and gloat, say, oh, we got this, because honestly, I don't know what the Cardinals get. Like, they can't win a damn game. They can't. So regardless of what happens, Teddy or Baker, I'm going to say the Bucs win this game. I'm going to say 27-23. I like that prediction because I think it's going to be close. I think the Cardinals are always close, regardless of what it is. Obviously, if not in the NFC West, we get annihilated, but I think we're going to keep this close. 27-23, Bucs win.
Let's go to the late afternoon window, and you better say a prayer for Seahawks fans because the 12s are welcoming 9 to the building. They better look out. The Minnesota Vikings on the road taking on the Seattle Seahawks. 4-7 is Minnesota. 8-3 is Seattle. Jesse, what do you make of this one between the Vikings and the Hawks?
Well, 9's most likely not going to play because he's concussed, so they're not going to have to worry about that threat. Listen, I think Seattle's just a much better team. I think they're going to be just fine. They'll probably put up 30 as well. We'll see what Brosmer looks like for the Vikings, but against this Seattle defense, I can't imagine it'll be great. I'll go 30-17 Seahawks.
Massive revenge game for Sammy Darnold. Jake, what are you making of this one, Minnesota, Seattle?
Oh, this is going to be a bloodbath. This is going to be what we thought the Titans game was going to be. So give me Seattle, and this is at home. Give me Seattle 41-14.
Mike, what are you thinking? A blowout coming the way of Seattle here on Sunday?
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is over there and the Vikings. I'm going to say 38-6. I got Seattle winning this game.
Well, the disrespect for J.J. McCarthy has gotten out of control, guys.
I mean,
guys got that dog in him, man.
They got more of a chance if Brosmer plays. If he's actually playing, they have more of a chance. I
think he is going to play.
I think he will too.
And I do you remember the conspiracy? Z-Bot, you brought this up. Carson Wentz was getting destroyed, right? And the conspiracy was Brosmer's actually better than J.J. McCarthy, and they can't let anybody know this. And now they don't have a choice if he is going to play.
This is going to be a brutal watch, Brandon, for Vikings fans. They got to sit there after what they did with Darnold last year and watch Sam Darnold destroy them on Sunday. I got a feeling this is what you're predicting here.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't have much faith in Max Brosmer coming into Seattle and cutting up this defense. And after watching what Mike did to Ward last week with all of that spice and flavor of those stack pressures, simulated pressures, zone blitzes, I just think you're going to have that kid's head swimming. And then the other side of the ball, Brian Flores is the highest blitzing defensive coordinator in the sport. As the Rams showed a couple weeks ago, the way we really want to play Sam Darnold is probably try to get pressure with the front four and then drop a bunch of guys in space and squeeze down those passing windows. Flores is going to do the opposite. That's something that Sam Darnold beats very well is the blitz. He's going to find the hot route read. And even already, Brian Flores has shown his hand this week saying he plans on blitzing a lot against Sam. So I think that this is not a good combination for the Vikings coming into this game. And I do think that the Seahawks are going to throttle them 27-10, as I think Max is going to be in for a very long game.
Speaking of Thursday and it being Thanksgiving, the slate might be the best it's ever been on a Thanksgiving. It should be incredible. Make sure to take advantage of that slate using a sleeper slip to get even further in on the action. I have one for you here. Dak Prescott more than 1.5 pass TDs against the Chiefs. Javonte Williams to get into the end zone. Barkley to bounce back off of a 22-yard outing against the Dallas Cowboys. Have him getting in the end zone. Jalen Hurts less than 213.5 through the air. If you want to tell that slip or, of course, create your own, do so via the link in the description below. Click on the sleeper link, sign up, and when you do, you will immediately get a free $20 entry that you can use all throughout week 13 or all across all of your favorite sports. Once you use the free $20 entry, use the promo code on your screen, RTS, and that will get you a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper Terms of Use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper via the link in the description below today.